What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. I'm bringing you guys a very, very late Steeler review. As I sit here now, it's Tuesday morning. I am 2 days late on the Steeler review. I was a minister at a wedding for my friends. Shout out to Josh and Katie if you're watching this. I had to take a few days to recover my body from all the standing, so here I am, quite late. I do apologize, but I wanted to still bring you guys this coverage, especially considering Pittsburgh played so well in their Week 6 matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. Another team, I'll be calling the wrong name the entire time, the old Oakland Raiders. Pittsburgh goes to Las Vegas to play the Raiders in Week 6, and this is always, every year, a game that I get nervous about. The last couple of years, Pittsburgh has handled their business against the Raiders, and I think now the curse is broken, but I just go back to all those old games where anytime we had to travel to the West Coast like that, especially against the Raiders, for some reason we had a weakness against them. So every year when I do my prediction standings, I always mark this game as a loss. Thankfully, I was wrong this time. We lost a couple games I didn't expect us to lose, but then won this game this week. A nice bounce-back week, one of our best performances so far as a whole this year. Was a little nervous coming in. Again, we should have dominated this game from the start. Defense comes out and allows an easy first drive touchdown, marching all down the field. Alexander Madison gets a touchdown. The Raiders came into this game not only in general kind of a subpar team that were going to start Aiden O'Connell over Gardner Minshew this week, so they got a new quarterback coming in. Again, O'Connell's like a 50-50 quarterback. He wins some, loses some, but he's not great overall. So you got this kind of average backup quarterback coming in. Zamir White, their starting running back, was out for the game. Devontae Adams was out for the game. Jacoby Myers was out for the game. Literally playing against the backup the backup Vegas Raiders on offense. Bad offensive line, running back out, 2 receivers out, just not overall a very good team. Brock Bowers was their only actual weapon on offense, and he was the only one that really got good numbers against us with like 70-plus yards out there. But they come down, drive down the field very easily on the first drive, get a first drive touchdown from Madison, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the defense is just letting this bad backup team go all over us, and now we're going to have to play from behind again. Thankfully, for the rest of the game, Pittsburgh went about 3 full quarters without allowing any points after that. The defense, once they saw what the Raiders were going to do, they adjusted, made the adjustments they didn't make last week, and then came back and allowed only one more touchdown, just 6 points. For the rest of the game. That was late in the fourth quarter when the game was already decided. So first drive and last drive, touchdowns for the Raiders. Other than that, it was all Steelers. This game really in a vacuum, and I'll get into Justin Fields' stats. I'm gonna read these stats first for you. By the way, the score was 32-13. Wound up being as dominating as it should have been. It still wasn't pretty offensively. Defensively, after the first drive, we got it together. Offensively, we did not. It was kind of choppy. It was not complete by any stretch of the imagination. But let's go over Justin Fields real quick. I want to read him separately here. 14 of 24 passing, only 145 pass yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But rushing, he had 11 carries for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. So this game in a vacuum really explains the dichotomy of Justin Fields. We really go over here the good and bad you're going to get with Justin Fields. He's not really a consistent passing quarterback. Again, he's got a cannon for an arm, one of the strongest arms in the league, and he can make some throws that are going to blow you away. And he also misses a ton. This game showed right here that he missed a lot of throws. There was one series where he passed on 3 straight downs and missed 3 straight open guys. He missed Calvin Austin open at least once. He missed George Pickens open at least once or twice. He's missed several guys today. Again, I'm doing the review 2 days late, so I'm kind of going off memory here. But I can recall at least 5 different throws, including 3 in a row on the one drive, that he missed guys that he should have had. And this really showed Fields being inaccurate at 14 of 24. With Justin Fields, we're not going to ever have a consistent passing offense. For people out there like myself that like a passing offense and like want to see all the weapons do things, they want to see what Van Jefferson can really be as a number 2. They want Pickens to get his deep balls. They want Calvin Austin to be the Tyreek Hill slot threat, the fast guy. You want to see Roman Wilson, who played a couple downs today. You want to see all these weapons. Freiermuth be a number 1 tight end. Connor Hayward, Washington be a red zone threat. We have all these potential guys. We're never going to see that offense consistently come to fruition with Justin Fields. He's been in the league now, 5 years? He's gotten slightly better with this team. Having a better game plan around him and not throwing interceptions has made him certainly a better quarterback. This has been his best start to a season overall because he's not throwing picks and turning the ball over, and he's holding the ball, and especially now that we're designing runs for him. But it shows us that, again, with Fields, he's going to give you occasional electric plays. He's going to make some good throws. He's going to beat you with his feet. But he's never going to be that pocket passer, that gunslinger. Even getting outside the pocket and consistently looking downfield for passing, he's not going to be accurate. He's going to miss things. That's what's going to happen with Fields. That being said, we're designing runs for him that are working. We're calling some good designed run plays. And even better when Fields has to improv and get out of there because of the offensive line, which we'll talk about. Fields makes it happen in the improv. Better than almost anybody. Maybe sans Lamar Jackson. The guy's incredible. So, really good day on his feet. Good play designs. Not a great passing day for us. But speaking of good rushing days, Fields wasn't the only one to get off rushing. Najee Harris, his best game of the season and one of his best in a long time. 14 carries, 106 yards. That is a 7.6 yards per carry average and a touchdown. Najee was running hard. He had something to prove. Much like Fields, he's one of the guys that I called out last week and said, well, last year Jaylen Warren outplayed him, and this year in that one game that he was really failing at, we had Patterson outplay him. And is it Najee? Is Najee not finding the holes? People talk about Najee going down too early. I've talked in the past about Najee not picking his holes and going directly into the hole. This game, he ran hard and ran through guys. There wasn't much open hole-wise early on. He ran through guys, and he got better as the game went on like he usually does. Najee Harris, I've always been a fan, and there's been times I've had to question him and times I've had to say that he's not kind of the franchise back or he's only a 1A, 1B kind of guy. Overall, Najee Harris came out firing today, running through guys, being decisive, and running behind a line that is really, really in flux. Najee is our biggest positive of this entire game. He is the biggest game ball winner of this game. And people have talked about, and myself too, this is the biggest knock on him, is his yards per carry average. They're usually under 4. 7.6 today feels really, really nice. I wanted him to keep going out there. He was inspiring today. Excellent game for Najee. One guy I called out last week that I want to call out again this week, George Pickens. 3 catches, 53 yards, and 2 drops. He got 3 catches on about 9 targets. They made sure to get him the ball a lot. They made sure to say, Pickens, we're going to try and force feed you and make this work. And some of those targets were on Fields. Fields missed them like twice. So I'm not going to blame Pickens for not getting more catches. He got 3 in this game. But he did have 2 drops. He had one on the sidelines on what I think was a 3rd down conversion opportunity that he dropped. And he had one in the end zone that he dropped. That is now 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks that he's dropped. And I think 4 or 5 balls in the past 2 weeks Pickens has dropped. You can't have this. This guy is too talented, and we are too inconsistent on offense to be having our star receiver dropping balls. He's the one guy that's actually going to get opportunities. He can't be dropping passes. That's the reason Deontay Johnson is no longer here, in spite of his tremendous talent. Pickens is even more talented in different ways. He can't be dropping balls. I understand he's going to make spectacular catches. He's got some of the most talented hands I've seen in years. He can't be dropping this many balls, especially 3rd downs and touchdowns. You got to bail this offense out when we have the opportunities. So Pickens, in spite of being the receiving leader this week, I'm not thrilled with those 2 drops. He has to catch everything in his radius. Fields is not going to always be accurate, and the offense is not going to always be pass heavy at all. When he gets his chances, he better catch them, especially if this young receiver that's due for a contract soon is going to start talking crap and being questioned for his effort and questioned for his media work and stuff like that. If we're going to start getting diva complaints, he better catch everything. George Pickens, I'm going to give him a minus today. Calvin Austin, 2 catches for 36 yards, was our second best. He only really got 2 targets. I think he had a third that was way over his head because of Fields. But the 2 targets that he got in his radius, he caught 2 third down conversions across the middle of the field, which means he's catching passes at clutch times and running routes. Good to see from Calvin Austin. I want more involvement for Calvin Austin. So all in all, the offense was not pretty, but we got a bunch of field goals, got in field goal range, and did have a lot of penalties. 3 offensive line penalties in this game. One was Broderick Jones, one was Connor Hayward, one was, I think, McCollum, the backup center. But yeah, 3 offensive line penalties in this game. We have to clean those penalties up big time. Offensive line, I have to give a plus just because of the rushing numbers, because of what Najee and Fields did, but we have another issue. Zach Frazier went down with an ankle sprain. As far as I know, it's not a high ankle sprain, but it's an ankle sprain. He's week to week right now. Could be coming back next week, could miss a little bit of time. He has been, since Sayamalu just got back, he has been our best lineman. Frazier has been in there as a rookie. He's been consistently solid. There's been games he's been very good. He's been the best overall guy in spite of his youth. And if he goes down, especially at the center position, the most consistent position you need on the field, if we're down to, 2 rookies next to Ryan McCollum, that doesn't feel very good. So we really need to get him back. He's been very good. And without him, we're in trouble. And again, if you want to question why Najee is not running as consistently as you'd like, look at the line. That's a big part of it. So I'm going to give the line a plus today for the rushing numbers, but the penalties and the injuries have to stop. Penalties we can control. Injuries we cannot. But please get well soon, Zach Frazier. You're phenomenal, and we need you out there. Defensively, like I said, started off with a touchdown on the first drive. Nothing again until late in the fourth quarter when the game was decided, so I got to give the defense a plus overall. They adjusted and figured it out. Where are we at? I should start where I basically always start every single week, and that's with TJ Watt. 5 tackles here, one of the team leaders in tackles, 2 forced fumbles. The reason why our defense has been so good and really picked things up in this game and was good are getting a lot of turnovers and getting turnovers in the red zone or opposing team's territory. Pittsburgh has been doing a wonderful job of getting fumbles and interceptions from the other team's side of the 50 up into the red zone. Pittsburgh is taking points off the board a lot. Turnovers and opportunistic times is making this defense elite and saving us from being a lot weaker, bending and not breaking, allowing long drives, but then getting turnovers. TJ with 2 Peanut Tillman punches to the ball. Those famous wind up and punch the ball as the running back or receiver's coming through the hole. Wind up, punch the ball, knock it out. Beautiful. Twice done by TJ Watt in this game. Even when he's not getting pressure and sacks because Jeremiah Moon's on the other side and 2 other guys are hurt. Without Highsmith, without Herbig, he still wound up getting a big impact on this game, even without getting a rush. 5 tackles, 2 forced fumbles. One was recovered by Deshaun Elliott, who gets a big plus again. He's everywhere. Besides TJ, he's been our best player this season. I love the addition of Deshaun Elliott. The other fumble recovery was Keanu Benton, who's been very solid, mostly in the run game, batting some balls in the pass game, getting tackles in the run game. Love seeing Benton's development here. Gets a fumble recovery as well. 2 turnovers for those guys. Also, Dante Jackson gets a pick. I think it was in the opposing end zone. I think he got something close to, I'm pretty sure, again, calling back to a few days ago, I'm pretty sure we were in Raider territory with another Dante Jackson interception. He jumps the pass beautifully. I think that's his 3rd pick already in 6 games. He's been very effective this year. Again, not always completely locked down in ways like Porter is, not quite as physical, but his ball skills and his ability to catch the ball are surpassing anybody else on this team. Love the addition of Dante Jackson. Good offseason for the Steelers in additions here. Big positives here for the middle linebackers. Peyton Wilson gets 6 more tackles in there. He's been very good in the run game. Still gets beat occasionally in the pass game. Brock Bowers, the tight end, was abusing our middle linebackers today. Beanie had a hard time in the slot with some plays. Wilson got beat on 1. I think Queen got beat on 1 in the pass game. But overall, in terms of rush game, in terms of tackling consistency, I would give Landon Roberts, Patrick Queen, and Peyton Wilson all big positives in this game. Moving over to special teams, Jeremiah Moon. He started on outside linebacker opposite TJ Watt today due to our injuries. It didn't do anything really noteworthy on defense, but special teams got right up the middle and blocked a punt. Very, very nice. So we don't get enough of those unless it's usually Killebrew. But Jeremiah Moon jumps in there, blocks a punt beautifully, perfection, diving right down the middle, catching the ball, getting no penalty. Good block there. Again, getting us in good field position, which resulted later in a touchdown. And then Boswell, 4 for 4 once again, including a 50-plus yarder. So Boswell super consistent. When the offense gets down there but can't score, Bos always puts it in. So good game for Bos again as well. Also, Corliss Waitman, 3 punts, 137 yards. That is 45.7 yards per punt, and 2 of those 3 punts inside the 20. So another positive for Waitman today. So Pittsburgh handles their business, goes in, plays an inferior team that was injured, and does their job. Starts slow again, as they have been, but picks it up and plays consistently. Offensively, doing enough on Justin Fields and Najee Harris's legs. getting just enough plays made, Boswell putting in the field goals, special teams getting a big play, defense getting 3 turnovers. All in all, you can't be too sad about a 32-13 win. Pittsburgh now turns things back around after a 2-game slide, gets up to 14-2. I wish we were 14-2. 4-2. 4-2 this week in a road game that was more like a home game. Shout out to the Steelers fans for traveling well and cheering us on the road. All right, going 4-2 into next week. Tell me who impressed you and who did not. What do you expect going forward? Who's going to be our starting quarterback next week? Russell Wilson is healthy. Fields is 4-2. He's great on his feet. He's not always consistent in the pass game. What do you think? Tell me in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like these Steeler deep dives, and I'll try and bring you this game review next week earlier than I did the last 2 weeks. I'm going to try and bring you the game review more timely in the future. Thank you and take care.